Welcome to another tutorial. In this case, we're going to explain the difference between a local and a global variable. I guess you are all familiar by now with this interface, Elliot, and I thought this was the best way to explain the difference between the two. So first thing is, well, you can see this class, this code, and I'm gonna explain it as I run it. So I'm gonna first compile it, then run it. So first thing I do is I run the first line of code and identify that I assign the value 10 to x. Okay, the static refers to the name, is a a class variable. So I don't want to say any more because then I'm gonna give you just the hint of what I'm going to ask you later. So okay, carry on working. Yes, I go to the main. You know that the first method that any class is going to run is going to be the main method. Yes, then first thing we'll do, call this method main. First line, I say int x equals 20. Notice that it doesn't complain, doesn't say that well, you already defined this variable. No, it's saying that apparently they are treating both of them differently. Yeah, so bear that in mind. Okay, say x equal 20. Yep. So what I do next, after assigning the value 20 to x, I call this method. Yes, print x, and I, with the parameter x, yes, I'm sending a value there, and this value is the value that is going to be received here. Yes, that's a message I pass in. I will explain later on what this means, to pass a message. Yes. Okay, so it'll be 20. So what happened is now the variable int here is 20. Carry on. And notice that the console, well, can you see the console? No, well, just take my word for it. There's a console there, is a printout of 20. So I carry on. Next, now I running this line, executing this line, sorry, and I'm saying x plus 20. So the value here of this x, that was 20, the one I sent, and now this value is equal to 40. Yes, but look at what's happening now. Okay, now int x, but now after you leave this function, print x, x is gone. So the life of this value x is just within this block, yes, these curly bracelets. So it you can say it existed and died within these bracelets. Thus this is a scope. So carry on playing. The next line I'm going to run is print x, and this time it doesn't take any parameter. Yes, and we'll be calling this method. Now print x, which value you think? Well, you got it here. Yes, 10. Why? Because this x refers to this one. Yes, so in other words, this one was local to this function, whereas this one, yes, has a scope of all the class. So anywhere in the class where you call x, it will refer to this, unless you pass in this value, then I'm referring to this x as local, not this one. Okay, carry on moving that. So again, the value here on this x, it won't be this value here global. Why? Because I overwritten that value, because within this method I have declared int x equals 20, so this x will refer to this int x 20. If I comment this out, this x will refer to this one. So shall I do that? Well, okay, let's do that. Carry on playing. Yeah. Okay. So that's it. Now I'm going to, if I comment this out, think about what will be the result. Notice that the value now that I pass is the value that was set here, right? That's because I didn't overwritten that value within this method. So the value I'm using is the global one. Carry on. However, this value still remains local between these bracelets. So what's going to print now in this case? Do you think it's going to print 30 or 10? Okay, well, you can see that in all the values it was 10. Can you, well, let's see if you can see here. Can I move this? No. Yes, I can. So you see that now the values there at the bottom of the console here are 10, 10, 10. Why? Because I didn't overwritten the value by a local value. So the global one had the scope of all the values, the x values within this class. So I hoped that this gets more or less clear. The concept of global and variable sometimes is a bit difficult to get, but just follow the principle of the blocks, the bracelets. If it is eclair between the blocks, then his life is within that block. Yes, in the case of the class, top is eclair here. This will be the main block, opening bracelets, closing bracelets. So the life of these eggs will be within this part of the code. Yeah. Well, I hope that this helped to get this concept more clear, and I will carry on talking on the next tutorial. Thank you for listening.